Good morning, guys. It is 9:36 on Monday, the 5th of December 2022, and we're here to do our weekly investment using the Trading 212 practice account. I just noticed that there are a couple of unread notifications here. I don't genuinely know what those are, so let's just check that out before we go any further. I haven't heard of Zscaler before, but apparently they have fallen back a bit. And job data, so US Tech 100 down 1.7, US 500 down 1.4, US jobs data beat, signals inflation pressures. Okay, I've got nothing really more to say about that. Actually, let me just check. I just noticed our last purchase mentioned there. Is that right? Was it the 24th the last time that we did any investment? Surely not. That seems like a long time ago. Let me just have a look in the transactions history here, because that seems off, quite frankly. No, the 29th of November. Was the last one. Okay. Right, not sure why the notifications are showing that way. However, not to worry. Let's get on ahead and we'll do our weekly investment, and then I'll take a quick look just to see how things are looking. So, as always, £120 this week. Current value you can see up at the top here. Roughly the amount of shares that we're going to be able to buy for that amount of money. As you can see, there's a bit of information here. Market orders are executed at the best currently available market prices. I don't remember if I have shown you or not before, but you can, if you really want, you can go in using the limit function and basically set a maximum price. There it tells you set the maximum price you're willing to pay per share. So for instance, let's say we were unwilling to pay more than £62.85. We can put 62.85. Actually, let me just type it because it'll be an awful lot quicker. 62.85. And then you have to choose whether that order is going to expire either at the end of the day, or whether it is going to be GTC, good until cancelled, good till cancelled. So in other words, if it wasn't able to operate today, but if the price fell back to 62.85 tomorrow, if you had GTC selected, that would go ahead and buy your one share at that price tomorrow. So as you can see, there is a difference on this screen compared to the market screen. On the market screen, I can select the value of the money to be invested, whereas on the limit screen there is no drop down. It has to be a fixed number of shares. So I suppose, if I was buying 2 shares, that's, well, it's actually slightly more than the 120 that I'm wanting to put in. If, as I say, if you want to do things that way, hypothetically you can. The risk, of course, is if you set the maximum price too low and the market starts to rise or just simply doesn't fall below the price that you have set, then your order will not execute. Now, I suppose you could say in order to limit the volatility, if you like, in terms of the actual market itself, I normally avoid investing in the first, say, 15-20 minutes and probably the last 15 or 20 minutes of the day, simply because there does at times tend to be a spike in activity, a bit of a flurry, either as pending orders from the day or night before are executed, as the impact of news starts to be felt in the market, or indeed as people try to get out of trades at the end of the day, particularly maybe on a Friday, if they don't want to be holding stock over the weekend. Now, that is certainly not the sort of business that we're in here. This is totally the opposite. The idea here is to buy and hold, and to take advantage of dollar cost averaging where that's available, which you simply do just by continuing to invest even when the market falls. So yeah, let's go ahead and put that order through. So it's £120. We're buying about 1.9 shares. It's a market buy, so we'll just go at whatever price the market is at that time. I saw a thing there saying that it had executed. I believe it has. Looking at the numbers down here, matches the numbers up here, so that suggests to me that everything has updated. I genuinely hadn't thought to look at the portfolio value before I did that, but I'm going to say that it has updated. So our stats, in the past I've called this a roller coaster. I'm sure you can see why, and if we look at the stats, it is exactly that. You've got green, red, green, red, green, red, all the way as far back as a year. Portfolio value currently down 0.1%, so insignificant change on that, really, as things stand. We are literally just putting money in at present to really to, I suppose, have as much money in as possible for whenever the recovery takes off and the prices rise again, and that will benefit us in the long term. I'm just dragging this out a wee bit just to try to show where I believe the opportunity gap currently sits. So as things stand, if there hadn't been all this political upheaval, war in Ukraine, I don't know how many different prime ministers in the UK, although the prime ministers in the UK probably doesn't particularly affect the US market, but if there hadn't been all this uncertainty and global economic crisis, you might well expect that the trend that we saw here before would continue, and that the current fair value for the market should be in around about £76. I was talking to somebody, I was exchanging messages with somebody quite recently, and it had to do with an investment portfolio, they were concerned that an investment which is due to mature in the next sort of year and a half may not recover, or may not recover fast enough to achieve the sort of performance that they're looking for. However, as I was at pains to point out, I didn't refer to this, to the opportunity gap, but I did point out that normally after a market crash, and I suppose if we look back here, you could say that the market crash, the most recent one, happened in about January, February this year. And as I say, normally you find that within a couple of years of a market crash, the market has recovered and in fact well exceeded the price that it was at before. So whereas you may be able to get a guaranteed small percentage in savings interest by pulling money from the market, this is definitely the wrong time to do that, because as we know, the market is currently down. It should recover, and typically in years following a market crash, the recovery outstrips normal market performance. So let's say normal market performance could be 10% per year on average. In a year where the whole year has been a recovery process, it's not unusual to see 15, 20, even 30% growth over the space of a single year. And as I was saying to this person, to limit yourself to a maximum growth of a few percent, unfortunately I feel would be detrimental in terms of the potential that you could achieve if you simply left things as they were. But I suppose people are people, and they're always subject to the old adage that the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. And of course that might well be true, but you could go over to the other side of the fence, you could find that the grass is greener, but maybe it's made of plastic. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, guys, just be careful, be wary of making investment decisions based on the value of a portfolio at a particular time, because when you do that, you are effectively timing the market. It's exactly the same thing. You're looking at it, you're thinking, is it fear? You're basically panicking. Is it going to fall further? Is it going to not do what I hope it will do? And I want to get out. We've seen elsewhere you cannot time the market, and in fact at times when the market is down, that is when you want to invest more, so that you can take advantage of dollar cost averaging when the market does indeed recover, and it will do. Okay folks, I think that is it for this one. If you've watched in the past, you probably realise by now that I do tend to include a little, an Easter egg at the end. So I'm just in the process of setting that up. The reason I'm including this clip today is just to highlight the way in which government seems to be seeking to ever increase the amount of visibility that they have over people's finances, and in this particular case, as you'll see shortly, their visibility over people's energy or water consumption. I forget exactly what the thing is that's being metered, but yeah, just have a watch at this, and also consider what the response is whenever the person on the other side responds and says, basically, we'll agree to meet outside of here, away from the cameras, so that I can talk to you privately without letting the public hear the answer. That's basically what's going on. But have a listen and see if you agree.
On the 1st of October, given over many years that data was under the control of households, that only they could decide who accessed it, and that without express permission it would only be used for billing purposes. Indeed, in 2016, the then Home Secretary told me that smart meter data is protected and it is not under the government's control. So will she set out to me how households in this country can control their smart meter data in the face of this chaotic and dysfunctional government?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am more than happy to meet with the honourable member and discuss this further, and also take this away to discuss with honourable members across government.
We now come to topicals. Stephen Hammond.
Okay, guys. So yeah, hopefully you saw what was going on there. Have a think about it, and ask yourself: is this the sort of government that we want, that we need? And does that fairly represent the people? Guys, thanks for watching. Have a great end to your day, and feel free, of course, to like and subscribe.